matter who we are. What matters is our plan.
Yes. It really doesn't matter who we are. What truly matters is our plan. Why do I say this? Well, all I know is when I'm kind of listening to and watching the end of a Wolfram live stream talking about computational stuff, and all of a sudden I see things like this pop up. It's like, wait a second. This is a newly submitted paper. Oh, look at that object. I don't know. Does it kind of look like the hyperbolic figure eight knot? I guess we'll have to find out. Here's the intro.
Though I know I should be wary, still I venture someplace scary. Ghostly haunting, I turn loose. Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice! Beetlejuice!
Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for coming now or in the future, because as we know, it'll take longer than the plank time to watch this video. Now, today we're going to be discussing memetic couplings. This is something that I've been thinking about for a little while, and I totally said I was going to name something after MC. I said it in a slightly almost vengeful tone. My apologies there, MC. But we're talking about memetic couplings here. What am I talking about? Well, if we go to the Internet of Stuff and Things and we take a look at the Wikipedias, a coupling. All right, a coupling is a device used to connect two shafts together at their ends for the purpose of transmitting power. The primary purpose of couplings is to join two pieces of rotating equipment while permitting some degree of misalignment or end movement or both. In a more general context, a coupling can also be a mechanical device that serves to connect the ends of adjacent parts or objects. Couplings do not normally allow disconnection of shafts during operation. However, there are torque-limiting couplings, which can slip or disconnect when some of the torque limit is exceeded. Selection and installation maintenance of couplings can lead to... Okay, now we're actually getting to the mechanical aspect. As we can see, there are a number of different couplings here. We have all different pictures and shapes and sizes. All right, that's beautiful. Thank you, Internet. Now, what the heck am I actually talking about? Why am I mentioning these things as far as memetics go? Because if we've gone over memetic tensor networks before, it is my postulation that depending on the information and how it is received and how it is taken by a said individual affects how many people act. So what I'm saying, especially in the case of, let's take the Amico, for instance. A lot of folks, there's some disagreement today, because the big thing is I'm like, I hear folks talking about haters, this and that. I'm like, well, most of my experience is people disagree. People entitled to their own opinions. That's fine. Now, what I postulate as part of this animosity is certain folks on more of kind of the quote-unquote pro-Amico side. They're kind of like, all right, no, you can feel free to disagree. But when folks start coming into our chats and talking smack, they at times seem to be either censoring, banning them, or basically timing them out, kicking them out. Now, if folks on the kind of not big fans of the Amico, or maybe even anti-Amico side also are going in, they're expressing their opinions. They may use harsh language. All of a sudden is my postulation that, all right, their freedom of speech tensor, or coupling if you would, it's kind of being triggered. It's like, wait a second, I'm speaking words. I'm saying things on the internet, and all of a sudden you're censoring me? You're banning me? Now I need to bring this up, because on this channel, there are things that we happen to support as different hashtags or whatnot. And over here, it happens to be free speech, dragons, and turtles. I like those things. I think they're important. Now, what ends up happening? So basically you have a coupling. Basically joining things together. Now, what I'm saying is you got certain tensors like the, basically, don't be coming into my channel and talking smack tensor, and we're kind of colliding with that free speech tensor. And the coupling there is basically what's joining them. It's basically causing a bit of an issue because they're forming together. It's kind of like the bonds between different atoms, different chemicals, if you would. They just kind of join, and it's like some people are pushing this way, and they're pushing something that's important to them. Other folks are pushing this way, expressing what's important to them. And along the line, are you going to get trolls? Totally, I am a troll. Some folks will just kind of go out there and say things just because it's antithetical to whatever's going on. They want to stir the pot. It's almost a form of lubrication, a little bit of grease. It's making sure that things can slip and slide around. If we're going to follow the laws of entropy here, it's going to try to take its most base, lowest energy solution. Now, folks might not always like those solutions. Some folks will push harder because maybe they happen to believe within their thoughts of what's going on that, okay, in a later bit, things will be easier. And especially if you happen to getting a lot of views. All I know is my Amico thingy about flying tires or whatnot actually got more views than I typically get on average. It was like at 1,200 or so. I'm like, oh, maybe people were talking about this. So if you're talking about something that people happen to have interest in, happen to be talking about, you're probably, at least there seems to be incentives there, to make more content, make more videos. And this could be whether you're for or against something, because that seems to be a fairly natural dynamic of the internet. Why would we expect things to be different here? That's really what I'm saying. As well as Hill Kai, Darius, Ariel, as well as Miss Melons, as well as shout out to Joe Franco. Shout out to my patrons, Joe Franco and Dave M. This broadcast is helped made possible by viewers like you. Yes, Miss Melons, we were talking about lubrication. It is important. You want your system to be functioning in an optimum type of state. You want it to be freely able to move. Now, the truth also matters. Here's the thing. If you're getting this bit of torsion, this bit of just clunk going on, okay, trolls can kind of sort things out, and then you also want to identify the facts, because on the internet as well, there are certain things that might happen. All I know is that occasionally...
Just go on the internet and tell lies?
I'm just saying, rule one of the internet. Don't believe everything on the internet. I think if we keep this in mind, things start to make a lot more sense here. So what I'm saying is, at times, if people are arguing about things, if they're putting things out in a particular type of way, that kind of irks some people, because that totally happens, that sometimes a connection is, well, we're just disagreeing here. All I'm saying is, if we maybe readjusted this coupling so we could actually work together, maybe actually try to push towards what is true, or maybe even at times having to remove the coupling or get something better, because if it's set up that we can actually have, okay, here are some very valid points. There is criticism here. When I was bringing Astro Smash, I accidentally paused it a couple times. That could be my noobness or the sheer fact I wasn't holding down the directional pad when I was hitting the touchscreen. When I do that, I totally did the hyperspace. I thought that was pretty cool. However, just touching it seemed to pause the game, which seemed to take away from some of the experience. That's a valid criticism, in my opinion. Now, if we put that out there, and you also list some of the benefits, like, well, you didn't need to touch that. There's this other thing you can do here. You can either turn that function off. There's an auto fire here as well. It's like, okay, we can work past that. Or maybe if just there was an option that maybe you could use the alternative non-firing button to do the same thing. I'm just saying maybe these are things that actual developers could take as feedback so we could get better products. And if you don't want to get it, that's totally cool. You do you, boo. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But just talking about these couplings and everything, I see you there, Wookie. I see you there, Wookie, as well as Bruce. Oh my God, my alarm's going off. This means that my laundry is done. I must go. What am I talking about, Wookie? I'm just trying to discuss why we humans do the things we do. It's not quite easy. I don't really know what's going on. I'm just saying that is often why I ask what's going on. Now, everybody, I would like to thank you all for watching. Peace out, everybody. Be safe. And just remember.
Some people are like slinkies. It's fun to push them down the stairs and watch them fall.
See, I don't condone violence.
Well, either that or log. It's like do. What rolls downstairs over and bears rolls over your neighbor's dog. What's great for a snack and fits on your back? It's log. It's log. It's big. It's heavy. It's wood. It's log. It's better than bad. It's good. Come on and get your log. Everyone needs a log. Come on and get your log. Everyone needs a log. Log from Blammo.
What the fuck is going on here?
Have you guys checked out the Memes of Destruction's channel? He's an interesting dude. I like him.